This is something that family islanders have to contend with, the lack of emergency response or sufficient emergency response on these islands, in this instance, BPL.
Well, it clears surely that BPL has some managerial deficiencies, and it's a clear lack of concern and regard for their own infrastructure. If somebody call you and tell you that there's a pole on fire, that's your infrastructure. You know that that's going to affect the other poles and it's going to affect light in the area. For you not to respond, it's a sign that you basically have a managerial gap, a managerial deficiencies, and that needs to be addressed. And so whenever they have the next board meeting, they need to fix those managerial gaps. But one thing I learned with BPL is they don't want to take on liability. And so they find a way to skate around liability. Is, many times these power goes out of their fault. It damages many utilities, whether it's fridge, whether it's television, whether it's computer systems, and they find ways to avoid themselves of liabilities. I had a personal problem with that. I bought a new computer, just programming it, and the light went off. Power came back on, computer dead.
Wow.
I went to them and they find all kind of excuse why they can't pay me back for my new computer. And so that seems to be their MO, that they find a way to avoid themselves of responsibility or liabilities as a result of their deficiencies. However, sometimes I think the people need to take a class action lawsuit against BPL and force the courts to make them responsible for their liabilities, because you cannot, because of your deficiencies, your liabilities, you having disruption in power, which is affecting many, many households in the Bahamas. There are electric, there are the telephones, there are televisions and refrigerators. Everything is smart nowadays. And so you burn up these motors and then you don't want to take the responsibility. That's on you. And I think we need, as a people, we need to push the courts to force BPL and all other agencies to be responsible for their problems.